Hello, welcome to my very first makeup removal video. If you want to have a bad time like I did, cover half your body in liquid latex for a burnt NanamiKEnto cosplay. Low-key, I forgot that I filmed this video a whole year ago, but I remembered for two reasons. Number one, Party City's closing down. That sucks. That's actually where I got my liquid latex and all my other cosplay supplies like dum-dums and fake blood and fake cigarettes. So I was mourning Party City and then I realized, yo, I never posted that video. And the second reason is because I forgot that I actually was a butthead last year and I revealed burnt Nanami around the holidays. So I'm getting a bunch of memories popping up, reminding me of that whole saga. Anyway, this cosplay was actually a last minute decision and also a defining moment for me as a cosplayer and an artist. I won't go into the entire details, but before this cosplay, I had essentially quit physical art for over 10 years due to anxiety and trauma. So jumping in and trusting myself to essentially paint half my body, despite never painting my body before and not really doing art for a decade, was a very big moment for me. But yeah, if you can't tell, it was very difficult to take off. And the culprit was two things. Number one, the makeup that I used, as well as how much makeup and liquid latex that I used. Disclaimer, it was not the brand of makeup, but the actual type of makeup that caused the issue. So to paint myself, I used the Bruise Ring from Meron, which I still use to this day. It's a great brand, but it's a cream-based makeup. And that, when mixed with liquid latex, can cause a very terrible end product that is both extremely sticky, but also equally malleable and smearable and hard to actually grab hold of. So no amount of scrubbing, wetting, rolling, drying, whatever, was really getting the job done. I also used a large amount of liquid latex over a large area and a ton of makeup. I pretty much had 2 to 4 full layers of cream makeup on my body. The first layer was the red base, then I went in with the deep red, then I went in with black, and because it was a cream-based makeup on a very rigid toilet paper paste product, there was no bleeding or spillover or any leniency, which meant I had to go in and for every centimeter, every millimeter, make sure that paint was applied directly from the brush or the sponge. So the fourth layer, if you will, was me just going in and touching up all of the white spots. And this is why it took me from 8 p.m. until 2 a.m. to apply everything, not because it took me that long to necessarily paint, but because it took me that long to actually cover everything due to the restrictions of the products. So simultaneously, I felt like I was covered in oil, but also covered in a really strong glue. Some of you are probably wondering, RJ, why didn't you research beforehand? I did. I googled, I asked friends, I watched videos. I had been watching people use liquid latex for the past 2 years over social media, so I wasn't just completely clueless. So during the whole fiasco, I started to reach out to friends, and I was getting a lot of advice. Try using lotion, try using makeup balm, use soap and water. Maybe I wasn't scrubbing hard enough. I got all these theories, but all of them just seemed incorrect. But at the end of the day, nobody actually knew what was going on with me. But I had this lingering thought, and once I came to terms with it, I realized that something was off. And I need you to hear me out for what I'm about to say. If a small and active white woman who doesn't wear lotions or body oils can remove liquid latex with no problems, and I, a man, a black man who wears lotion, has some muscle mass, works out, has dexterity, yada yada, is struggling and in pain and can't remove this product, something must be wrong. Because I go through life, whenever someone tells me about their experience, I always think about how that experience will apply to me if I don't have the same identity as that person or I don't have the same lived experiences. For example, when some white people get Sharpie on themselves, it stains for like days or weeks. For me, I always wear lotion, so it comes right off without me even trying. So once I realized that all the odds should be my favor and things were going very much not my favor, the anxiety shot way up. It wasn't until the next day when I told my friend Axel what happened that he immediately knew what happened. Apparently, cream-based makeup and liquid latex make this really difficult to use substance that you essentially just have to scrape off and suffer through. Axel worked in the VFX and horror industry, I believe, so this was something that he had experienced himself before. So while it was nice to finally have an answer, I wish I had talked to him earlier. It's funny because he was actually one of the people that I went to for help earlier. I just didn't tell him that I was using cream-based makeup, so he's like, yeah, you can use makeup and liquid latex, no problem. But when I said the word cream-based, he was like, oh, RJ, oh no, buddy. Don't do that. So how did I eventually become latex free? Disclaimer, I do not condone all the methods that I use, but I will give you the safe options afterwards. Okay, so aside from using water, soap, oil, towels, and paper towels, I did end up using Clorox wipes, which helped quite a bit. Again, I do not recommend that. This was kind of an emergency situation for me. I was exhausted. I had nobody to help me out. I had nothing to eat, nothing to drink. I was sleep deprived. I was almost having an anxiety attack, but I have been using Clorox and Lysol wipes to clean up hair wax and makeup from my counters for a while now, so I assume that even though it's my skin now, it should do a fairly decent job. I've also used these wipes before, and they mostly don't irritate my skin unless I'm doing a bunch of cleaning, and even then it's just a little bit of itchiness, so I chose to take that risk. A little bit of itchiness and irritation would have been been much better than being covered in latex, contaminating all my clothes and my sheets, not being able to sleep. That's the path I chose. I couldn't really tell a huge difference between the makeup remover balm and using soap and water. It felt like it just worked better depending on the area, and it was fairly random. And a bunch of people told me that I should have ran a hot shower, but I did not feel comfortable having all of that stuff go down my drain, which is why I really tried to do all of it outside of the shower beforehand to minimize how much gunk went down the drain. Once I did get as much stuff off as I possibly could, I did take a very long shower. Even when the hot water ran out, I was still showering. I think I spent like 45 minutes showering, something ridiculous. And it still did not come off. So I gave up. I was like, you know what? It's gonna dry off eventually. It'll get crusty, skin will die, it'll come off with the skin. I'll just wear an old t-shirt, call it good. Basically, that's how it played out. A few days later, I was mostly latex free. I did find random bumps of latex around my entire body, including my hair, for probably 1 or 2 weeks. I was able to live a normal life without feeling sticky after about a week. But now that it's been a whole year and I've done some research and I've experienced a lot more, here are some healthier tips for using liquid latex. Number 1, wear lotion before you apply the liquid latex. I typically wear lotion all the time, but I didn't for this because I thought that it would stop the latex from applying to the skin. But apparently lotion can help apply the latex and also make it easier to remove. Number 2, always keep some sort of adhesive remover on hand. Isopropyl myricate, spirit gum remover. Their effectiveness does vary depending on the type of liquid latex that you're using, as well as the other products that you apply, but in general they're great for helping to break down or loosen up adhesives. I did actually get isopropyl myricate about 2 or 3 days later, but by then it was a bit too late, so it didn't really help that much. Number 3, again, be very careful if you intend to use cream-based makeup and liquid latex. I'm not gonna lie, it looks dope, and I'm not gonna lie even more, I did use it for another cosplay, my Heartless Itadori cosplay, but honestly that came off really easily. I used a lot less makeup, I used a lot less latex, I was wearing lotion, I didn't need water or anything, it just peeled right off. And I also only had it on for about 1 or 2 hours, so it was a very different experience. Number 4, don't forget to shave. Hair is not only very painful to deal with, but it makes it even harder to pull off. Number 5, if you're doing a very large area, I recommend having someone else there to help you because this does get extremely tiring. My last tip, which is just a general tip, is to familiarize yourself with the concept of solvents and the different types of solvents available. This is something that I learned in my science classes back in the day that I just kind of forgot about under the pressure. Knowing about solvents is very useful in life, but also very useful in the cosplay and makeup world because if you ever get something on your body, you can kind of systematically rule out what breaks something down. If water doesn't work, try water and soap. If that doesn't work, try oil. If that doesn't work, try alcohol. If that doesn't work, try acetic acid. If that doesn't work, try acetone. And these days, I pretty much have all these products on hand at all times. That way, if I get something on my body that won't come off, I know that I can pretty much find something at any time to dissolve it. Anyway, this was a dope cosplay. Did it leave my shoulder scarred? Yes. And I will probably never ever do this again, but I don't really regret it as like a one-time thing, life lesson type mistake. Yeah,